What's going on, SkyyTask drone pilots? Let's fill in a little bit of questions here and answer some things for you guys. Let's talk about the bid process and the workflow, kind of like in a nutshell how this whole entire thing works, starting with the bid that is created by the client. So the client creates this bid, they fill out their description, they're going to fill out different series of questions in there, and then that bid, from that point, they have two different options. They could basically choose a pilot to work with in the directory. They'll find you, your profile, your bio, your pictures, your URLs that you put in there based off of your work. That kind of merits like a good pilot. So if you're being chosen, you're chosen off of the quality of your work, and you don't have to worry about lowball pilots or anything like that kind of beating you and getting to that client before you do. So that's one way of kind of reducing the race to the bottom. That's a whole nother topic. That's pilot optimization and smart bid and bid watch. And we'll get into that in another segment. But really, we're just kind of coming down, all the way through the bid process and really quickly. I'm trying to dial this in fast. So the other option is they can kind of put this out to the network. And that network, it's going to go to the series of pilots within that radius. And you guys will then have access to then communicate with those pilots with a one-to-one chat. Now, guys, I can't stress this enough. Talk to the clients. Introduce yourself. I've created this entire system to be built off and piggybacked like real world scenarios. If this job is coming in through you personally and they found you on social media, wherever, they come to you and they're asking for a bid, you're not just going to throw a number out them without introducing, hey, my name is Steve. Nice to meet you. These are the solutions that I offer. I'd like to understand your scope a little bit better, right? So you have the time to communicate with pilots. And I don't charge for this. I know other people do. I don't. You have direct communication with the clients. You can communicate with them, chat through the one-to-one chat system, and it basically comes in like a push notification. It'll come directly to your cell phone. There's no reason to ever check SkyyTask for available jobs. There's no reason to ever check if someone got back to you or if your bid's answered. It's going to alert you in real time. So as soon as they click a button, our process and our algorithms are super fast. It's going to send you that alert within seconds. You're going to get that, and it just reduces your time of checking your website. So that's how that works. Definitely use the chats, talk to them, introduce yourself. You get one round of negotiating. I did this specifically because I don't want a job to start here and it ends up down here. That is a race to the bottom, and that is not what we stand for. That is not why I built this. I built that to actually fix those problems. And this is kind of one of them. So that one round negotiating starts here, and you'll submit your offer based, your bid based on talking to them and understanding the scope. They have the chance to negotiate that. So if you're at 400 and they say, look, can you do 350? You do have the option to say, look, I can do it for 375. I'd like to work with you. Or you can simply agree to the 350. It's up to you. So you have the last round of negotiating. Technically, you get two, right? Because you're basically putting in the offer. They're submitting they're trying to negotiate that price, and then that's like their counter. And then you can either counter that one last time or agree to the terms. Once that process is over, at the end, you guys are either accepting or denying. I didn't set this up so that this goes on for 100 different rounds of negotiating. I don't want them to beat you up over price, and I don't want you to beat them up over price. So this is a pretty quick thing. So now another thing to remember is we don't price these jobs. These are your pricing. So know your market, know your worth, know your skills, your equipment. You know how to calculate in your insurance and your possible travel time, your back end deliverables with your editing and everything that you have to do to complete this job, right? You guys should know this. If you don't, contact me. I'm working on partners to actually incorporate in that can help our pilots better understand the workflow of their business and price jobs, communicating with clients, things like that. So that's a whole nother segment in itself. But you can communicate with them, and those short rounds are in place to reduce the race to the bottom. We're not encouraging the diminish of drone value here. That is not what we stand for. So now we move on to acceptance and payment. Both parties agree. The client's prompt to pay. We hold it in escrow until the job is complete. Now, when you schedule it, say you schedule it for tomorrow morning, you show up on site in the app, you'll click, there's a spot that says start job. That will alert the client to let them know that their pilot is on site. And then when you're done flying and done doing your thing, you can hit complete. It'll let them know that you have now completed the job and that you have that time now to work on the deliverables according to their scope, right? You have to understand that scope. When do those deliverables need to be back in their hands? Now we're going to get lastly into the data transfer part. We use a Google Drive service. It's your Google Drive. I suggest paying a little bit extra money to get a larger Google Drive, which is perfect. I mean, it's like $20, so you can get a lot of storage. Now, when that data is getting ready, you put that into that folder in your drive, and you copy that URL, and you'll put it in. There's this whole portal for this spot here. Now, you can either choose a passcode, or our system will generate a passcode. It's passcode protected. That then goes to the client to access just that folder where their work is in your drive. Then they'll get their deliverables, they'll download them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So this goes pretty quick. So that's basically the nutshell of how that bidding process works. I can show you guys some on-screen stuff, but I wanted to put this out there so you can see it, understand it, and just have a better understanding of how that part at least works. When we talk about race to the bottom, things like that, and valuing drone work, because there's such a value to drone work, and I think this is where the industry is getting away from that. Our system is learning every day, and it's in place to protect you guys. You know what I mean? Like, we're not here to, I'm not telling you have to accept a $60 drone job or whatever. That's not why I built this. So this system right here is completely different than what you're used to on any other platform. I guarantee it. I did not build it like everyone else, so it's going to take a little time to understand how this actually works. That's just the small nuts and bolts of it. I'm going to have to put segments out there so that you really do understand, because we're very intricate. There's a lot of detail into here. So I thought about a lot of things when I built this app. And it's been, little fun fact, I've been building this since February of 2023. It's been a long time of process to get to here, but we're out. With your help, we'll get there. And I look forward to literally growing this with you guys. I say this all the time. I'm very adamant about that. My success is your success. Your success is mine. Let's look forward to the future, and thank you for watching.